we are off. Welcome to the Deep in the Woods podcast. This is episode 29. Kind of crazy. I'm Nate. I'm with, as always, Aaron Hoxie, and then special guest of the night, 2024 spring champion. As always, Aaron Hoxie, and then Aaron Hoxie, and then Aaron Hoxie, and then I'm with, as always, Aaron Hoxie, and then special guest of the night, 2024 spring champion, Brendan Crocker. So we're super excited to have him on. We'll highlight that stuff in a little bit, but I'll do a little bit of an announcement. First of all, thank everyone for coming out to PFO. Super fun, great success, all of it. We're coming out with a recap video, so we'll talk more about that in that video. And then another announcement, we got Sanction League coming up, and so if you haven't checked that out, or just peruse the disc golf scene page for that, I'd encourage you to do that. Link is down below in the YouTube description, so you can click on that, go check that out. But yeah.
Nate, what's going on with Sanction League then? Where are we at this Friday?
This Friday we're at Riverbends. No, we're at Firefighters.
Okay, but you're going to alternate back and forth between those two, right?
I think that's where the Hawks landed.
Yeah. Firefighters, Riverbends. So see you Friday night, or actually there's that cool feature whenever you want to tee.
Yeah.
So if you can you need 3, right?
You need between 3 and 5 guys. And so you can tee off between 8 and 8.
So Ian and Jacob Fulkrad are going to be out there at 9 in the morning on a Friday, right? Probably looking for a third. So hit them up.
There's going to be a lot of chatter in the Discord.
Yep. So find your group and get out and play.
Yep, get out and play. If you don't have anyone to play with, we'll find you someone to play with. So super easy.
Cool.
And then week 10 just wrapped up.
Yep.
Let's do
we gotta come to the obvious thing here, right? All right, so in the middle of the table right here, you see the trophy, and Nate, it's a little bit of a sad moment. Brendan, a little bit more of a hype moment.
I had it displayed on the mantle for a while there, so it's kind of a sad moment. Might need to get it back someday.
But it's an official transfer tonight.
Thank you.
Congrats to Brendan Crocker with our spring 2024 victory tonight. So
yeah,
congrats.
So we're actually going to hop into the interview because it's natural. We want to figure out how you did it. Brendan, why don't you give us a little synopsis of how the season went and what was working for you?
Drawing partners. Obviously that worked. No, I had great partners every week. I think just playing good team golf was the best. I don't think.
And you mentioned you had it one a week. You never won a week.
I won one.
One.
Stony Green, Andrew Rumson, I won that one.
Gotcha.
But and how many weeks did you come?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. So consistency, right?
Yeah.
Only 1 win out of 9, but just finishing near the top.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that helped a lot, just showing up, because a lot of my the rounds that really didn't go well, they got knocked out because I had 5 better ones. But yeah, no, I think every round I recall just playing great team golf. I had my partners back, they had my back, so it was just.
Did you sense your partner, just specifically today and maybe previous weeks, have a little nervousness to them because they knew how important this was?
Yeah, who'd you have tonight, you said?
I had Nolan.
Okay.
So Nolan was aware of the situation. We were pressure's on, buddy. You gotta go. But,
I'm going to need you to deliver tonight.
Turn on the jets.
No, he did
special.
He did great. No, but it was another night of good team golf. A lot of my tragic tee shots, he covered up, and then if he stepped up and missed a putt, I had his
good
back.
Doubles, right?
Yeah, it was great doubles.
Cool.
I think towards the middle, I don't think that pressure was there, but as the weeks kind of got on, I kind of started getting eyebrows and.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize you had a serious shot at this?
Probably 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
If I hadn't lost it by that point, I'm like, okay, this can actually happen.
Yeah.
Was that Oakland?
I think so. Yeah.
That was the week. I remember people were starting to mess with him a little bit, like, "Oh, here comes the league champ." Yeah. When we played that mob golf on hole 1, so everybody was gathered around, and you played well that night too, didn't you?
I did.
Like second or third.
Or I should say we did, yeah.
Yeah. So
the points started to become very clear at that point. So and then once Brendan popped off, it was like, okay, can anyone catch this dude? And we had 2 guys who kind of made it interesting, right?
Oh yeah.
2 guys within a point and a half tonight, right?
Point and a half.
Well, I think it was just one.
1 point.
Both of them were exactly 1 point behind you.
And the 1 point was a CTP point.
Yeah.
Which
So here's what's crazy is tonight those guys all come in within 1 point of each other, and we've talked all about how bonus points are worth a lot, right? So tonight I'm looking at 4 flags. Rick, who was one of the top 3 guys, won a bonus point. Buff Nate, Drew Pensko, the other guy, won a bonus point, and you won one tonight. So here's a commercial for Dairy Queen tonight. This is the Tim East Memorial DQ Ice Cream CTP that I would like to award to Brandon. We'll drop it right here in the basket for you. So you'll get a flurry or something out of that, but it's the point that won you the league, right?
Oh yeah. And at that point,
That's history.
I'm gonna keep that card.
You're like, I'm not gonna spend it. It's gonna go with the trophy.
That thing.
But at that point when I walked up to that hole, one, I didn't know it was a CTP.
Okay.
But I knew that Rick had the CTP on the previous hole. So we walked.
So you're
past
like, dang, this might be the one stupid point that loses it for me.
Yeah, I said. Well, that's what I said. I was like, at that point, I'm like, I don't think I'm eliminating my low round tonight.
Right.
And Rick is gonna time me. And I didn't know Drew had his at that point, but...
Oh, yeah, because he was 1 point behind you, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, you think Rick scored a bonus point, just tied me for the overall season.
Yeah, I'm thinking tie, and we're talking about it. We're like, I don't think ice cream counts.
Did you know Buff Nate had one?
No, not at that point.
Okay.
So I threw a proxy, leaned it. If it wasn't so overgrown over the pole, it probably
there's like the tufted grass, right?
Yeah, it was really close. And whoever I took it from was really close.
Yeah.
We had to step it off, or singular step, but...
Wow. It's a game of inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
But that one, it's crazy to think about something like this coming down to one particular shot. Usually, like, you have a round or...
Right, like a doubles league of 18 holes for 10 weeks, and it comes to this one little CTP hole. But you put yourself in position to win it before that, so that's what's cool.
Yeah, it sounded like you just played good golf. You didn't have a lot of off weeks.
Yeah.
You had a lot of weeks that dropped, but weren't, like, dropping weeks, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You had some...
Well, that's how we set up the league. You know, when we first did it, we said, let's put a 10-week window. And we know that life happens. You know, you can't get there every week. I made it to 9 of them, so did you. But that way it allows you to have an off week and still, you know, your best 5. So you can put those hot rounds together.
And there's still hope to be had.
Yes.
You know, halfway through the season, like, maybe I can, you know, scrounge some points.
We've had guys, I remember the one that Ian won. He came from like nowhere. He missed a bunch of the early weeks last summer, right? Or last spring? Something like that. And he showed up like
2 years ago.
2 years ago? He showed up like, he won 2 out of the last 3 weeks. And I think he caught me out of nowhere. And so, yeah, anybody, you know, to the end, obviously tonight, to the end could do it. So.
Yep. And so I know a lot of guys don't even know your story per se. How did you get into disc golf?
So my first exposure to it was like 2012, 2013. I had a buddy I played baseball with growing up. He worked at Play It Again. His friends or coworkers got him into it. And it's one of those you don't realize what you have till it's gone things, because we were getting used bin discs at cost. It was like $3-5 for like premium plastic, but like we didn't know the difference between a putter and a driver. I just liked the Nuke because it had a gas mask on it. Throw it 100 feet, lose it.
Everybody when they start, the stamp on it was better than the mold, you know, like that's funny.
Yeah, but then so I still had like a small bag from that, and then summer 2021, my fiance was like, "What are those frisbees?" And I was like, "Oh, it's for disc golf. It's pretty entertaining. We should go try." Went and played a few rounds, had a good time.
Okay.
And then I knew it was like, "Oh, there's a name on one of these. Like, what's this Paul Macbeth guy up to?" And then that's when I found Jomez, all like the Pro Tour, realized everything just exploded in the time I wasn't paying attention to it, and just head first down the rabbit hole, and it's been all gas since then. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then how did you get plugged in with us?
So Derek Vansel is the short answer, but we got linked up at the Grayling Open up north, played both rounds together, and then I played the Houghton Lake Classic because I like playing Skinner Park a lot, and I was like, cool, a tournament here, and that was the one you guys ran.
Okay.
And we coincidentally got carded up both rounds there. And
so you're talking less than a year from ago, right?
Last summer.
Like middle of last summer, which less than a year.
Yeah, and that's when Derek told me about the league. Hey, you should come play with us.
And you live down here, so it was like, you know,
double connection.
Derek's was the same way where we met him up there. He lived down here, and so we kind of, you know, got him plugged in too. So
yeah, that's funny. I didn't know you met him up north, not here.
Yeah.
Because they literally live across the street up north.
Yeah.
In Higgins Lake, and then found out he's from Royal Oak. But yeah, so up and down, another double connection. Pretty cool.
And then you and Derek play on the same card quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
So it kind of randomly gets end up carded together a bunch.
Randomly, kind of randomly.
Or yeah.
For the first or for the second rounds randomly.
Okay.
But we had a full tournament streak of like playing both rounds, and then one of us didn't perform at Palmer, and then so he got bumped up and I missed it. So I was like, sorry, Derek. But
we don't get to play together this time.
But no, we have a fun streak of like starting tournament rounds together. So it's good to have him on the card because it doesn't matter what happens, we have a good time.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, do you have a disc golf pet peeve?
Bags that have the discs like flip flopped. If it's not flight plate to under like
So
interesting.
I don't know why. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. But
that's what a pet peeve is, right? It's
Yeah.
something that shouldn't really matter a lot to you, but it does.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to have to the fact like thinking about how you grab the disc, or maybe people that do that don't think about that. I don't know, but I just like
Nate, is your bag? Is it mixed?
No, all mine face the same way.
Okay.
And so
do you do drivers or slow discs on the left?
I do. So if my bag is sitting over here, I'm looking at the opening. I do my mids over here, and then everything drivers this way.
Okay, that's what I do.
And so you keep it.
Oh
organized like
yeah, you couldn't handle mine. Mine is some are to the left, some are to like some face, head to the right, some face tail to the right.
Yeah.
They're not even like drivers and mid ranges are all putters are in the putter pouch, but drivers and mid ranges, fairways, everything all random. The discs I use most often, I always slot it to the middle. So kind of like the ones that are up against the wall are the ones that almost never get touched because it's kind of hard to in a cart. It's hard to weasel your hand in there. But
That bothers me too.
I live on the
I
edge.
didn't realize it was a pet
I live
peeve.
on the edge.
Yeah. But I just put my discs in correctly. So.
Also, I'm incorrect. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So.
Brendan, I would ask this question of you, as somebody who just kind of came in from knowing Derek and hanging out with us. Our league is different than a lot of other leagues. What made you stick? Because you've been like a regular. You came to some of our fall stuff, a couple glow things.
Yeah.
What made you stick? What made the Woods disc you stick around?
First and foremost, just like the attitude. The community you guys have is really cool. Everyone's really supportive of each other. Everyone just wants to watch cool disc golf. That's what everyone is here for. But it's just a very nice group of people. Everyone's just here to have a good time. And then for like a spring league, I really like the way like the birdie fund and like the point system and stuff like that. It's not just a throw your money in and
and you might win $20 or whatever.
Yeah, and then like that because like I've played in leagues where there's like one or two dudes that show up every week, and it's like, all right, I'm basically just how close can I get to maybe getting my money back? And then there's 2-3 dudes that just clean up every week.
Yeah, they're typically running the league.
Yeah. But no, I think like the way that it's set up and like the format of it is really nice. It's very accessible. I like the way that players are pooled and stuff. Like, because if you play random draw doubles, like you could have a super team and you could have two people who never played before.
It's a lot easier to bring new people too. Like if you want to bring a friend in, you're like, okay, we can pair them up with someone.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I appreciate your answer because that really is a lot of what we talk about. We want good people, and Zeke and I were talking just on the drive home today about like he was kind of figuring out who you were, and I said, yeah, like he just fits well, like encouraging other people, like, and we know that there's some people there that either never played before or they're brand new to the game. Everybody's giving away plastic, giving each other tips and hints about stuff. Like that's one of our goals, as well as the community of just good people. And I really feel like on a given night, every once in a while we'd be like, oh, that's a hot pair. But almost anybody could win in a given week, and so that's cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna time out real quick. I'm gonna go check time. The league night. We just wrapped up, like we alluded to earlier, week 10. Just pure league night. Who do you guys play with?
I know it's kind of overshadowed by Brendan's win, right? But there was a bunch of other people there tonight.
Yeah.
My card tonight was a lot of fun. I played with Jeff Cafferly, who is the newest of the Cafferlys to join in, and he is a great predictable driver off the tee. He's got a lot of drivers that he flexes, turns them over, comes back. He played good tonight. I played around with him 2 weeks ago as his opponent, and he cashed about 3 50-footers. And so I joked with him tonight, like, Jeff, man, you got to cash these for me tonight. And he and I, neither of us could hit a long putt tonight. So we just played like a boring, but what felt like decent round. And then we ended up in last place. So it's kind of crazy. I was like, we shot 3 down, like, nothing felt hot or whatever. But it just kind of, sat a little bit flat.
This week was wild. I don't know what it was. It felt like I was playing good, but I was so far off the lead. But our scores weren't that far off. Like, it was like very much
right. When we said first place to last place was 4-stroke. That's the tightest window we've ever had.
That's nuts.
And then tonight I played with Zeke and Will. You would think that Zeke and Will would be the ultimate partners, right? Like Zeke, kind of the unpredictable, 450 thrower, and then Will, Mr. Smooth, which Zeke actually said, Will's so smooth. I go, that's his nickname, right? He goes, oh, yeah, it is. But they couldn't putt tonight either, too. No. So they got off the tee well, but they couldn't putt. So both of us just out of 3, but very enjoyable round, very chill.
I think you guys started on the easier stretch there because
I
saw you guys. I'm top of the leaderboard real quick.
So we started on 10, and we got 11, 13, and 14.
Yeah.
And so we got our 3 easy birds, and then literally just parred out the rest of the whole round. Yeah. So it was fun, though.
Yeah, that's cool. Who'd you play with?
I got partnered with Nolan Cafferly, I believe the original.
The OG Cafferly.
And
He'll really appreciate that. He is, right?
They're just coming to the league left and right.
Yep.
And then we played with Nicholas and Big Mike. Shout out Big Mike, 90-foot throw-in today.
Go up.
Dang, all right.
Crushed one. We Nolan and I came out swinging. It felt like we came out real hot. And then
was Mike and Nicholas kind of working with you guys, trying to
They were supportive.
They were supportive.
Okay,
they weren't bending branches or anything, but
they are 2 of the biggest talkers out there.
Well, their voices just move.
Well, yeah. So I wondered though if they would start to mess with you a little bit. That didn't happen.
Not deliberately, no.
Okay.
I mean, we were a chatty card today. I will say that.
Yeah. Not deliberately means they did without meaning to.
There was no reach back sneezes or anything.
Okay. All right.
Just casual conversation.
That's fair. Then.
Light mood the whole round.
Were they keeping you updated? Was that never talked about?
Nicholas was, but he did ask first.
Okay.
He goes. Do you want to know where you are? And I said no. Are we doing well? He goes, you just said no. I said, I want to know in the abstract.
That's funny.
But then after that point, I was like, okay, just tell me.
Well, because you said you realized that you probably wouldn't be upgrading one of your scores once you got to a certain point in the round. You knew you'd get the bonus point, but that was it, right? So, okay.
Actually, we didn't even know until we met you back at the pavilion if that was a bonus point.
Oh,
because it was the ice cream
some
CTP.
People didn't know because it was an extra CTP to the count.
Yeah. So I finished my round mentally in a tie with Rick.
Yeah. Would have been epic.
Yeah.
It's still epic, but it would have been crazy.
Yeah, and then Drew had the chance to replace his low round. So now I know what it feels like to be in the clubhouse just staring at you.
I mean, you see it all the time, like on, the guys in a golf tournament on TV on a Sunday, he's in the clubhouse with his, minus 12 on the weekend. And you were there waiting for Drew to maybe birdie out or not.
I thought he was going to do it, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I was ready for it.
Well, it's tough because you couldn't actually tell what hole they were on, even though
because the layout was funky tonight.
I was like, I saw a 16, but is he actually on 16?
Because if he was on the 11, 12, 13, 14, there's birdies to be out all over the place over there.
So
that's fun. Nate, who'd you play with tonight?
So I played with Greg Hessen, and then I also played with Easton, which he's new. He actually plays for Michigan State's club team, which is kind of cool. We talked about that a little bit. And then he was partnered up with Ross.
Okay.
I felt like we started on a really tough stretch, and so we really didn't see the fruits of our labor until later on. We finished on the easy stretch.
Yep.
And so then we started, it was like...
You kind of had to grind for a little while?
We had to get a lot of pars to start off.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fun card.
Good.
Not a lot of crazy things happened, but fun card.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that wraps up. That was week 10. We called it the finale. We divide our season into 2 chunks of 10 weeks. So we had 10 weeks of spring, 10 weeks of summer, and next week we're squeezing in the All Skills Challenge.
Yeah.
So a couple details of that. If you're watching this, you'll probably catch this on the weekend. Next Tuesday, which makes it May 21st. Yep, May 21st. Same kind of normal start, 6 p.m. start. But if you show up early by 5:30, we're gonna have pizza and some other snacks there. So come hang out. You can pre-try some of the stations, grab a couple slices of pizza. We're gonna have 5 stations set up. One of them is gonna be distance. One is gonna be approach accuracy from somewhere in the 120 to 150 range. Circle 1 putting, circle 2 putting, and then there's going to be a simulated escape shot. So you're going to have to and it's going to force you to throw a couple forehand, a couple backhand, a couple overhand shots, and a couple rollers to escape like a fake bush that you have to get around.
It's exciting.
So 2 things about it. Number 1 is we're kind of calling it the Big Money Skills Challenge. There's
probably the Big Money Skills Challenge and then Big Money Skins.
Big Money Skins later, yeah. So if you don't know, your league money each week goes to things like CTPs and longest putts and ace and birdie fund. But we pull a buck or 2 each week, and we've probably got a good sized $500 kitty that we're going to be adding in next week to the normal money coming in. So chance to win some big monies. So you heard the 5 stations out there, right? What is going to be where are you going to dominate next week? Circle 1 putting, circle 2 putting, the escape shots, the distance, or the approach accuracy? What's your hot spot going to be, you think?
It's a coin flip between C1 putting and the approach.
Okay.
Depends on what my body feels like excelling at that day.
I like myself with that approach station just because I don't excel at all the other ones. So.
Yep. So the C1 putting, there will be a couple 15 footers, a couple 22 footers, and a couple 30 footers. So we're right on the edge of C1. And C2 is going to be 35, 45, 55. They're going to be worth a little more if you make them. So you'll be walking around with a clipboard with a whole little spreadsheet for you and your group. I really think the ABCD thing is going to be cool because it's cool to have a partner and you're kind of pumping each other up. Now you're going to be in a group of 4.
I'm just imagining the pressure that's going to be on people when they realize how much money's on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and, right? Well, and then there's the pressure on it's going to be a different kind of thing because if I play in the A pool, the guy who's in the D pool in the distance contest, he's earning points for us. And so maybe he only throws 200 off the tee, but it might be those points that tip you into win. Scramble style is different. That sometimes you just don't use their shots.
It tips you out of the win, and then you suddenly hate that person.
Ooh, yeah, it could be hard. So you better deliver.
I know Mike's going to be throwing.
Oh yeah.
He's always good for one of those.
So use of the code that we wrote today is going to be used next week for the ABCD combos. So I'll continue to repost it all on Discord, and even in some guys still use the text. That everybody's going to need to log into that, so it's going to be your group of 4. I'm pretty pumped that that worked well this week, and that'll get utilized. So
yeah, stuff. It also streamlines everything for us.
Yeah,
so it's kind of typically you're scrambling towards the beginning of the league, so it's easy to have AI do it for us. So
sure thing.
Yep. So
all right, one last question for you guys. Summer League picks up the week after that. Give me the 18-hole course that you would like to see added to the summer season. So we played Riverbends twice, Stony twice. We played Firefighters. We started off the season with some of the 9 or 12 holers because we were a little bit lower in attendance and we realized we outgrew it. What would you like to see added if I gave you a little bit, if we extended our radius a little bit? Where do you want to play? You got one in mind?
I like either Lawrence Tech or Addison Oaks.
Okay. I think those are doable for most of our guys' drives.
I'm not a crazy fan of Hawthorne, but that's always a reach for us. We can always squeeze in.
What would you like to be on your list? You could repeat one of Nate's or a whole new one.
Yeah, being from Farmington, I'm a lot more familiar with things out radius.
Yep.
So I'd like Addison Oaks or LTU. Well, selfishly LTU because that's really
close. That's nice and close for you.
Yeah. But I like Addison Oaks, so I think those are both good.
And there's also not a ton of people that way, but there's also Will Benedict from the shorts.
Yep.
You can do the shorts, which would make it quicker,
That's always worth it.
That'd be a fun one. If we go in June, we could do a little longer drive and it's late sunset. So, all right, that's going to be laid out soon.
So I'm super excited for next season. We'll probably touch on that after the skills challenge. But yeah, Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Thanks, Brendan, for coming on.
Congrats to the
Thank you.
champ.
Congrats
Thank
to
you
the
for having
champ. Super excited to have him on and get his name on the trophy. So, peace.